Now we will explain the process, the all-important process of logging on to ITAP. All customers, whether you're a first-time customer or an existing customer, will be required to log on. Depending on whether or not you're an existing account holder, that being bond or escrow, or if you're a non-account holder, we will demonstrate the steps you must take to log on to our new system. We're going to begin with existing account holders. One significant change from our existing system to this new system is the fact that you will be required to create and maintain what's called an executive logon. Whomever you want to be in charge of all your company's information within our system should be the one to create and use the executive logon. For safety purposes, we recommend the executive logon create and protect their own unique logon and password.
Now we're going to spend a few minutes detailing the extremely important information for all existing bonded and escrow account customers. If you are an existing escrow or bonded account customer, all contacts we presently have for your company will receive an email prior to the implementation date later this fall with a username and temporary password included. The person designated to hold the executive logon title will use this emailed information to set up their logon. If we do not have an email for your company, this information will be faxed or mailed out to you. The first time someone logs on with the username and temporary password provided in the email, they will be prompted to immediately change the temporary password before they can proceed and complete the logon process. At that moment, that person will serve as your executive logon. Once customers that have received their username and temporary password will log on to the IllinoisTruckPermits.com, and while on the permit homepage, they will click on the Click Here to Log On link. This will bring up the logon screen. You will enter the given username and temporary password that you received in your email. It is at that point that you will be immediately prompted to change your password. For demonstration purposes today, we will not see that prompt. Then you will click on the Logon link.
Clicking the Logon will return you to the permits home page. But if you notice, in the upper right-hand corner, your name will appear as Welcome and then your logon name, in this case, Tammy Hovey. This lets you know that you are logged on to the new ITAP system. Also notice that additional links have been added to the left side, which we'll talk about momentarily. At this time, there are two extremely critical steps that each executive logon must do immediately after logging on for the first time. The first step you'll need to do is to, 1, verify the information under the account information link to ensure that it is all correct, and to verify information under the contact information link to also ensure it is correct. Both links can be found in the list of links, as you can see on the left-hand side of the permit home page. First, let's click on the account information link on the left to review and ensure that all pre-populated information is correct. With the exception of the billing address section, this page is read-only. If you detect any errors in those sections, contact our accounting office immediately. Until those errors are corrected to your satisfaction, we'll recommend you use EFT, a new concept we'll explain later, or a credit card to purchase your permits. Within the billing address section, feel free as the executive to make any changes you wish. Information contained within this section will be used for all monthly billing statements and other accounting-related issues. At the bottom of the page, you can view all of your billing statements for your account by clicking on View in front of the invoice you would like to see. Now we are going to return to the permit home page and proceed to the second link. The second critical page a first-time executive logon must review is the contact information link. Click the contact information link on the left to review and ensure all pre-populated information is correct. The information on this page should be unique to the person who is logged in. So in this case, it should be the executive logon's information. Should you wish to make changes, you may do so as long as you are logged on as the executive logon only. Now we're going to return to the permits home page. We're going to log off as an existing account holder logon. To do so, you need to click on the link that reads "Click here to log off." All right, we have just reviewed the process for customers who are existing account holders, whether that be bond or escrow. Now we're going to turn our attention to demonstrate how those of you who are non-account holders will log on to ITAP for the first time. Non-account holders can either be customers that currently pay for their permits with a credit card, or they could be a new customer that either want to establish an escrow account or pay for their permits with a credit card. Speaking of payment methods, beginning this fall upon implementation, we are pleased to announce there will be a new method of payment for all non-account holders, known as electronic funds transfers, EFTs, in which you will be able to use a checking or savings account to directly transfer funds to pay for your permits. EFTs can also be used by account holders to add money to your escrow accounts. Okay, so for non-account holders, for your very important initial logon, you must click on the link, "Click here to create a new logon," the first time you wish to obtain a permit on or after our fall implementation date.
Doing this will take you to the Create a New Customer ID logon page. Once completed, this will be your executive logon. Each company will have just one executive logon. Please give careful consideration to who your company selects as the executive logon, as this person will be responsible for maintaining all pertinent company information within ITAP. We highly recommend you do not share this information because anyone with access to the executive logon user's name and password will also have access to all of your company's funds and information.
So, fill in the username with a unique name that you, the executive logon, will remember as being demonstrated. Then, choose a unique password using the parameters explained at the top of the screen. And confirm the password, followed by the entry of a security question, such as the name of your dog, and then the answer. You likely will want to write this information down and place it in a secure location for your future reference. Then, of course, we register. This takes you to the customer logon information. As the executive logon, the information you enter on this page will serve as the official contact information for all actions you take while using our system. First, the permittee name. We'll entitle, for training purposes, the webinar training, but this will be your company name. When entering the permittee name, it is very important you enter the same information here that you have provided for all of your permits in the past in Illinois. If you are a permit service, you should enter the permit services name here. Second question, are you a permit service? If you are not a permit service, click No, and the exact name you entered in permittee name field will automatically be populated on each application you complete. You will not be allowed to alter the permittee name field on the application page. Now, if you are a permit service, then click Yes. And when you order a permit, you will be allowed to enter each unique customer's name of your permit service in the permittee name field on the application. The third question, regarding government accounts. This pertains only to government agencies obtaining a logon. If you are not a government agency, the question will not apply. Fourth, mailing information.
Mailing information is used to mail all your monthly invoices and/or permits that will be sent to this address should you select mail as your method of transmission for your monthly invoices or permits. So we're going to go ahead and enter in a default address here. And then the contact information. This information needs to be the name of the person and phone number who will be contacted regarding any issues pertaining to the applications applied for when using this logon. In this case, it would be the executive logon. The executive logon can create what we call subordinate users in their account, and this information can be individualized when created. We will talk more about subordinate users later.
Next is the email address field, which Tammy is entering. This needs to be the email of the person we, IDOT, would contact regarding any issues pertaining to permit applications applied for when logged on as this user. In this case, the executive logon. In other words, if you, the executive logon, are applying for a permit, your email address will be pre-populated within the application, and your email address will receive any and all correspondence between the permit office and your company, including the final, hopefully, issued permit. In the future, if this information needs to be changed, the executive only may log on and change it. Once all information is entered and verified, click the Save button, which again takes you back to Permit's home page. You now have the option to perform any function within the system, including adding subordinate users, applying for an escrow account, creating a vehicle library, and of course, ordering a permit. We are now going to demonstrate how you as the executive logon may add subordinate users. Subordinate users are those users who are authorized to order permits for your company, but whom you do not want to have executive rights to your account, such as your account or contact information page. The subordinate users will be provided with their own unique subordinate logon and password with the ability to only apply for permits. So, to create a subordinate user, you simply need to click on Add Users. This takes you to the Logins page, which is currently populated only with your new executive login name. Eventually, it will contain any additional subordinate usernames you may create. We are going to create a subordinate user logon by clicking on the Create User link. This takes you into the Create a Subordinate User for Your Company logon page. Very important, you as the executive will need to decide if you want to A, create an individual subordinate user for each employee, or B, create one subordinate user for all employees that order permits from your office. We at IDOT at this point slightly recommend you going the route of B, creating one master subordinate user. The advantage to having just one subordinate user is that all of your users can pull up the identical information entered in as a vehicle and/or route library. We'll discuss these advantages a little bit more later when we discuss vehicle and route libraries. Now, once you have decided which option works best for your company, enter a unique username, password, security question, and answer for this subordinate user. Again, you may want to write this information down and safeguard it for future use. Then simply register. This takes you to the customer logon information page, in which the top section will be shown in the read-only format. This section will show the permittee name and the answer to the first two questions that the executive logon entered on their logon page. The next three sections will be an open format. You must enter the mailing address, contact information, and email address you want for the subordinate users correspondence sent to. If you elected to only create one subordinate user for multiple employees, which was option B earlier, each employee must change this information on each application they apply for to ensure receipt of their correspondence and permit. Now, once you have created all of the subordinate users, you will click on Permits homepage link.